van alle burgers te verhogen en het potentieel van elke mens te ontsluiten. En een verenigde en democratische Zuid-Afrika te bouwen. Wat een rechtmatige plek als een soevereine staat in die gemeenschap van naties kan innemen.
May God protect our people. Nkosi sikelele Afrika. Morena buluka sitaba sa Yesu. God seën Suid-Afrika. God bless South Africa. Mudzimu fatushetsa Afrika. Hosikisa Afrika. We thank you.
Konale challenge yano ya Haiti. Deputy Minister Thandi Modise wa itse challenge ya ka kere. Yano go batla ke namele. Re a leboga. Thank you very much. Ke kopa le ba fem matsogo. Thank you very much, Minister. Na ke na le minister on tlhokometse ba gaetso. Thank you very much. Ke kopa le fem bana ba le matsogo gape. Thank you very much, Potchefstroom Secondary School. We are now going to another item on the program. Before I call the speaker on the podium, ke batla go gopotsa bašwa ba rona gore most of you guys gore ga le itse gore what is NYDA. Now today re tliseditse leadership ya NYDA. NYDA e tshwanetse make sure gore e developa bana or bašwa ibile e ba fa platform e ba assista ka everything. So I think me o tlo tla mo because he's a young woman, I trust her. O tla tla le fa dikgang tse di botse. O tswa ko Limpopo o tla le fa dikgang tse di botse. Ke ene the deputy chairperson wa NYDA me Karabo Mohale a tlo go lefa ka lefoko Mariano Mbasha. I'm worried gore a mmela go khona go utla gore the opportunities that NYDA has for you lo khona go di note ga le dira modumo. Ke kopa gore ga gona le speaker here, just listen and note ga le go lena le dipene mo go lona. Before you Karabo, can you sit please? Ke lebetse go acknowledge my colleagues. Ke tlabe ke dira mistake go sa acknowledge my colleagues. I know amongst us Deputy President Renale MEC Mukua ga ke le bitsa my colleagues ko pa le wave fela le dumedise batho. Renale MEC Mukua na go le tshwarisa ya ka Minister Mackenzie ke bua gore le tshware diposo tsefe mare young people ha ba fetsa fa le go bonela go engage le bone ba le tshwaretse something. Renale MEC Sambatha wa dikgomo. Renale MEC Danki. Renale MEC Molapisi. Minister, we are also happy that the Northwest Provincial Legislature has also joined us. Mogareng ga rona re na le Speaker sa rona Mme Dr. Mohono. Re na le gape the Deputy Speaker Ntate Colin Maine. O ka nna mo emelela mmagaseo mohumagadi. Mogareng ga rona gape we also have honorable members of legislature. Ke bone Honorable Stale. Ke bone Honorable Sonakile. Ga ile gore there are other members ba ke sa ba bona ba tla intshwara. We also have the chairperson of Salga, Ntate Khumalo Molefe, ebile is the executive mayor of Ngaka Modiri Molema District Municipality. As and when bantse ba gore ba bona, we will then indicate to our VIPs gore ke bo mamba ba lente mo gare ga rona. Let me hand over to Karabo Mohale to give us some sweets. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much to the program director together with the minister. My name is Karabo Mohale, the Executive Deputy Chairperson of the National Youth Development Agency. To the Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa, leading the delegation of government, consisting of ministers, deputy ministers, and esteemed colleagues. Today is not just about remembering history. It is about carrying it forward with purpose and intent. Carrying the weight of young bodies that never made it home in 1976. Carrying the fire of voices that were silenced too soon. Carrying the dreams of a generation that stood so you and I could be free. They tried to bury them. Little did they know they were seeds. The greatest honor we can give the giants on whose shoulders we stand on is not only in celebration, but it is in confrontation. Confronting the uncomfortable truth. We have to dismantle the shackles of poverty that still bind too many young people. We have to refuse a country where the only inheritance that young people have would be generational poverty. We have to reject a reality where far too many young people turn 35 without never having had a job or an economic opportunity. We need a youth-centered economy, not one that only includes young people, but one where young people are co-creators. To our government as led today by the Deputy President, we lament because we believe, knowing what you are capable of. We have seen you move mountains. When we think about the dark period of COVID-19, we remain hopeful that you too will rise up in defense of the young people of South Africa. Let our generation see that you do not just hear us, but you act for us. The young people of South Africa need you now more than ever. And I would like to say this plainly. Young people are not looking for handouts. They are not looking for favors. They are looking for a chance to contribute meaningfully to the development trajectory of South Africa. They have what it takes. Minister Mackenzie, if you drive through the dusty streets of Limpopo, you'll hear a sound that is rising from the ground, a genre that is born from dust and defiance, Lekompo music. Made popular by the likes of Shandesh, Janesh, and Karishma. Young artists are reclaiming their space in the arts. Minister Nkabane, if you walk through the corridors of our universities, you'll find not just students, but authors of knowledge and builders of scholarship. Similar like Prof. Noluxolo Gaza, an associate professor with a PhD in information technology from Nelson Mandela University. Professor Jewel Mudiri, who became the youngest professor of law at the University of Pretoria at the age of 29. Or Professor Hlamo Lombiza of the University of South Africa, who became the youngest and only associate professor of mathematics education in the country with an NRF Y2 rating. Minister Chikunga, these are not just achievements. This is evidence of what happens when potential meets support. Our demands are clear. We need to commercialize youth-led research and innovation, fund the commercialization of research, patent the ideas of young people, and fund them to scale youth-developed solutions. Turn labs into launch pads for jobs and enterprises. Secondly, we need you to localize development and create jobs where young people live. Government must take development to where the people are, in townships, in rural villages, in squatter camps, in informal settlements. Thirdly, we need to break barriers to markets for youth-owned enterprises. We need to ensure that we enforce real youth access to procurement, to the markets, digitizing supply chains, and reducing red tape. And lastly, fund young people to industrialize with intent and scale. We need a bold, dedicated government that does not only support, but catalyzes youth innovations. As I conclude, Deputy President Mashatile, from townships to tech hubs. From farms to fashion houses, in every corner of this country, young people are breaking glass ceilings and generational barriers. But in other corners, there is dead silence. Young people have stopped believing, and it is for them that we must fight. For every young person who still shows up, we owe them momentum. For every young person who has given up, we owe them a reason to fight and rise again. To the youth of South Africa, there is nothing under the sun that is beyond your reach. Gear up for greatness, be bold, be brilliant, and above all, be limitless. Thank you.
Thank you very much, young women. Thank you very much. Basha, ke kopa le feng mme Karabo Mohale matsogo a bofuthu. Because she's speaking on your behalf. And she's saying, NYDA need creators. Batho ba e leng gore ba tla tla ka di-plan. Young people do not want handouts, leadership. Deputy ministers, ministers, I'm happy that some of you led young people. So you know that young people do not want handouts. They want to be a solution to the problem. They also want to be part of this economy. So whenever we engage with them, let's get the handouts, deputy ministers and ministers. Be rest assured, they are ready. And they can take this country forward. If you give them the baton, I'm definitely sure that Deputy President, they can take us somewhere. So thank you very much, Karabo Mohale. And I think you will then go around South Africa and discuss the issue of youth developed solution. Go and work with all young people. Baba ko Motlabe ke mo Moses Kotane Ntate Kenny Morolong, Baba ko Swais Renek, Baba ko Taung. Because this province is one of the provinces that they are rural. So whenever we plan, re ska ra plana ka blanket approach. Re plan ka mokgo di province tlebe di leng ka teng. So thank you very much, Auskarabo, and I think Bashaba Northwest, Bashaba South Africa are ready to also engage with you ka the solutions that they might be having. Let me call two young people, they will now come and give us their testimonies. I don't know if ready if bas ready refete. I want to call on Janjis or Jankis Burderey and Sandile SK Original Kapola. They will tell us the systems of government in Tidibatusa, the programs that government has, they will then tell us and then where are they? Jankis, Michael Temo. Okay, and Jankis. Where is Sandile SK Original Aka Kapola? Okay, thank you very much. You can start.
Ere santla ke tse tšhono e go leboga this opportunity ya gore ke be ke eme mo pele ga matšhwiti le baeteledipele ba puso e re ke simolle ka go dumedisa the deputy president of our country, the premier of our province, ke tsele mahoko ga honorable minister Mr. Gaten McKenzie ke re all protocol observed. Bagaetso na kalina ke tshepišo ka sefane ke Jankis ke mosimane wa ko Taung ko Greater Taung Local Municipality ke tswa ko villageng e bilwang gote ke ko Khobadi ko Dry Hearts. Bagaetso in quickly se ke tlo go se buang ela ke go sherela. I did not know gore ke di achievement, but today because I'm honored, I'm going to tell you this achievement. Jangis Boerdery bagaetsho ke setlamo sa agriculture and agro-processing, se se leng based in Taung, where we are producers, packagers, distributors, and exporters of a product called lucerne. Jangis Boerdery is in the industry of animal feed production. We are also processing this animal feed. During my tenure, I started 2021 in this business. My first and big client that I scored, it's a client in Botswana where I started my export load during 2021 till to date. Jangis Boerdery bagaetsho has participated in multiple agri expos and projects across SADC. In 2021, Jangis Boerdery has participated in the Uru Harui Agri Expo in Namibia in Okahanja. During that tenure, I was supported by the MEC of Agriculture, Medes Bomohono. Honorable Deputy President, let me tell you, and the Premier of the Northwest, in that expo, there were people from different countries. Our products were judged, we were selected. There were everyone to look at the product in terms of your presentation in the business. And let me tell you the good news about that. Jangis Boerdery was the only business in agriculture from South Africa and Northwest Province. Now, in that, I say, Honorable Deputy President and the Premier, I went to represent your country and your province in 2021. Now, in all the judgment that were done, Jangis Boerdery came home with a gold medal. Jangis Boerdery has participated again in the Botswana Global Expo in 2022. We were supported by NWDC, where 9 of us from the agri, mining, we went to that expo also to exhibit our products. We participated, we came strong, we went there better and prepared. We participated in that expo again. We were blessed by the former president of Botswana by then. And during the night after that event, we have won the country's pavilion award, bring it back to South Africa. Thank you very much. Jangis Boerdery currently, as it's sitting, it has incubated 100 young people, and I must indicate that I am the contributor of job creation in the province and the district of Dr. Ruth. Thank you.
You know, it's a very big privilege to be on the same stage as greatness. So, you know, it's a little bit nerve-wracking, you know, for a young person like me that doesn't have too much public speaking experience. So be forgiving, okay? Honorable Deputy President Paul Mashatile, Premiers present, Minister of Youth and Minister of Sports and Arts and Culture, all other ministers, deputy ministers, mayors and councillors, all our leaders, fellow young South Africans and dreamers, good morning, if we're still in mourning. Thank you very much for having me and giving me the chance to stand here today. My name is Sandila Khapola, but most popularly known as K Original. I'm a young 23-year-old visual artist born in Cape Town, raised in Polokwane, and now based in Gauteng. Today I would like to share my story with you, not because it's perfect, but because it's, you know, mostly real. If there's any one person in this crowd today, especially a young person, who will hear it and get inspired, then it's worth showing up. Let me take you back. I grew up in a place where access to art would not even be a feature in this conversation. In Polokwane, there weren't any art schools in my area. There wasn't any programs introducing kids to creative careers. There's just no place where you could walk in and say, I want to be an artist, and someone would say, here's how. So when you grow up like that, the idea of becoming a full-time artist feels kind of impossible. Not because you aren't talented, but because you don't know where to begin. You don't even know where to look for mentorship, basic materials, or even funding for what you want to do. The truth is, most of us, especially from smaller towns, we don't even know that there's funding out there to support talented individuals. And that is a serious and major gap, because there's a saying that the poverty is not knowing what lays outside of your door. So imagine what happens if that knowledge was freely and easily available to every young person in this country. Imagine how much talent would rise. Now, fast forward to 2020, lockdown hits. I'm supposed to be at school, but like many other students, I'm forced to stay home for like 6 months. So what did I do then? I just started drawing. I drew every day until I'm able to meet a couple of celebrities that could help me, put me on a pedestal, to help me market my business, you know? And at first, it was just to pass by time and as a way to start, you know, being busy during the lockdown phase. I went from pencil sketches on paper, pushed myself, experimented with charcoal, then with paint, then with glass. So for those that don't know what I mean, I'm the guy responsible for making cracked glass artworks. The ones you see on your TikToks, your Instagram, that's me. Thank you, thank you. Now, I found ways to turn glass into a canvas, and that is when people started taking notice. It's something different, it's something raw, it's something that reflects not just art, but the struggle and resilience. Today, I'm proud to say that small spark, that lockdown hobby turned into a real business, which is now a business which gave me a voice. I've had the honor of meeting some of South Africa's greatest names, including Mr. Gates and Mackenzie, who has very much supported my business. And not only in South Africa, but recently I had the opportunity to meet Chris Brown and hand him over my piece, you know? That felt surreal because me, a kid from Polokwane with no fancy background, no formal training, standing in front of one of the biggest artists in the world with a piece of art in my hands. But I didn't stop there. I'm now earning a decent income. I live on my own, in my own apartment, and I own 2 cars. I have the freedom to travel in and out of the province when I need to. All of this is because I chose to start, even when I had no resources, no guidebook, and no roadmap. I want to say this to every young person here. You don't need to have everything to start. You just need to start with what you have. Your idea, your passion, and your determination. I started with my ideas, my hands, and my phone. Do not wait for the right moment, but make the right moment. There are a lot of SK originals all over this country, young creators, dreamers, and thinkers who just believe in themselves and to have a little light to shine in what they're doing in the dark. To our Deputy President, to all our leaders from government and business sector, let us not wait for Youth Day to speak about the potential of young people. Support us by creating innovation hubs, incubate the ideas of young people into viable businesses. Support us by establishing talented academies to nurture talented artists, sportsmen, artisans from around the country, including townships and rural areas. Support us by making funding, mentorship, and access to local and international markets. To every young person here, keep dreaming, keep creating, keep fighting. Remember that everything I started, I built with my hands. Because as our great leader Utata once said, it is in your hands to create a better world for those who live in it. Let us shape our future with our hands right now. Thank you. Ke a leboha.
Thank you very much. I'm a 2000. I'm a 2000 ateng in the house. I'm a 2000 ateng in the house. Brasputla, only 2000. We can agree for only 2000. Thank you very much. Limutli lager. I'm on TikTok. Okay. Ready for Mr. Mackenzie? No, kadala. Neke botsa gore le mo TikTok. Ke ba ba ka ba mo TikTok. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, our young people. I will now call on Mr. Mackenzie. We are changing the program. You know the power of mic. You can do whatever you want to do with it. So we are changing it. Don't worry about the programs that you are having. I normally do this when I chair the program. So I'm changing it. U10. I love more N1. Rajiga no retsana mo N4 ba fethu ne. So ke batla o fanta te Mackenzie so that that's any more N4. Ayego. Wa tlhaloganya Minister of Education. Ondiva ka kuhle. So ra change because we are chairing the program. Deputy Ministers and Minister. Thank you very much.
Chovito! We are together. There's a name I want you to remember. Themba Bavume. It is one of the world's best cricketers, DP. He's South African. He's from Langa. Yesterday, they made history, and they're going to make history forever. But why I came here to introduce the next band, I'm from a community, DP, where people die a lot because of gangsterism. In El Dorado Park, 4 people were shot dead 2 days ago. People die in Menenberg. And we as the GNU, the Minister of Police, I must tell the people from my community, we are working very hard to finish gangsterism. We can't tell you the plans, but through the GNU, I am right there. We are going to fix our communities. These gangsters that rule our communities, they come into the end of their time. We are going to deal with them like a dog deals with a bone. They can't threaten our communities anymore. We are busy with a program. We've got a very good Minister of Police. But why I'm coming here, DP, it's very hard to keep our children away from gangsterism because we don't have sporting facilities. We don't have these facilities. But now, since in the wisdom of President Ramaphosa, he has appointed a very vibrant sports minister and culture minister, we are going to change stuff. And the next band is a man called Greg Taylor. Greg Taylor is from Wasselbaai. There are many Greg Taylors in our community that keeps young children away from crime, that keep young children away from doing wrong things. And it's people like Greg Taylor that use their time without being paid to fight gangsterism through action. And what you see here, all those children, if there was no Greg Taylor, they would have been taken by the gangs. And that is the problem in our community. So I want us to give a great hand to the Greg Taylor Band and what they are doing in our community. Thank you very much. He's 5 or 6 years old. The boy is going to play now. He's 5 or 6 years old. The boy is going to play now.
Thank you very much. Ria leboga the Greg Taylor Band. Ka mmino o monate ke kopa le ba otlele matsogo ka gore ba lwana le di ritibatsi ba lwana le botlhokatsebe mo di community tsa rona. Ria leboga. We go on with our program. Minister Mackenzie, in our midst we also have guests from different political parties, but because this province is the province as in more national unity for now, let me acknowledge in our midst the provincial chairperson of the African National Congress, Ntate Nono Maloi. Hari siri fitlu ko national unity and hari. Thank you very much. And other political parties that are here. I also saw the chairperson of other political parties. Re a leboga bagaetso. Re a leboga go nna teng ga lona mo gareng ga rona mo letsatsing la batšha. This day is not even political because it affects all young people across. So thank you very much. Let me call on Minister Sindisiwe Chukunga, the Minister in the Presidency for Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities, and immediately Minister of Fetsa Kapuo ya gago. Re kopa o biletse ko pele Deputy President wa rona. Re a leboga.
Thank you very much, Program Directors, His Excellency, Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa, Honorable Paul Mashatile, Premier of the Northwest Province, Honorable Lazarus Mohoshi, Ministers, Deputy Ministers, MECs, MPs, MPLs, Mayors and Councillors, Mayor of JP Marks Local Municipality, Councillor Gaba Titiba Kakele, Director General in the Presidency and Secretary of Cabinet, Ms. Pindile Baleni, Executive Deputy Chairperson of the NYDA, Ms. Karabo Mohale, members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, but more importantly, and in a special way, I want to greet South Africa's youth, our assets, South Africa's investment. ETA, South Africa's youth, ETA. ETA, South Africa's youth, ETA. Halala, South Africa's youth, halala. It is both an honor and a profound responsibility to contribute. A master teacher, we are called upon to break with the ordinary and adopt extraordinary measures to respond to the youth question. Too often, 1976 is remembered only as a rejection of Africans. Yes, but the truth is more profound. That generation rose up against a system designed to erase their minds, steal their futures, and condition them for subservience. They knew what Verwoerd meant when he said the African child did not need to learn beyond obedience. Program directors, our rate of youth unemployment represents a national crisis, as President Ramaphosa said it, and I believe it requires all of us to mount a de-siloed, all of government at all levels, and all of society response that is fit for purpose. Behind the unemployment numbers are families and young people who are traumatized, frustrated, and increasingly disillusioned. We hear it in their own words. As Zimasa Babasa put it during a youth think tank organized by my office in Gauteng, he said, if there is no work, the rest of the pyramid collapses. When the foundation of work is missing, The link between education and social mobility is weakened. Young people's confidence is eroded, often giving rise to a mental health decline, and dreams begin to rot in the silence of opportunity denied, unquote. Program Director, as we honor young people's historic and ongoing role in our society, we must ask, what is the mandate of our young people today? In my own view, their mandate is to future-proof themselves and their country by organizing, by being skilled and reskilled, and skilling themselves in a manner that prepares them to take responsible ownership, control and management of all well-producing resources of this land. As Malcolm X said, you are not outnumbered, you are out-organized. For us, organized youth like South Africa's youth represent a blessing with limitless potential, a strategic asset for the current and future well-being of this country and the continent. So, to our youth, organize, organize, and organize. Program directors, our continent is home to an estimated 453 million young people who are between the ages of 15 and 35, a number projected to exceed 1 billion by 2063. Notably, about 70% of the population in sub-Saharan Africa is estimated to be under the age of 30. They represent the size of a largely untapped market for finished goods and services. They represent a market that must be connected through technology, a market that must be fed, a market that must travel, a market that must be entertained, a market that must be well-dressed. This is where our jobs will also come from. Program directors, over the past 2 weeks, we have sat with young people, not as a minister, but as a listener. Honorable Deputy President, young people are not just sitting. They are organized, they are involved, they are contributing to the country's economy. They are existing. On the 3rd of June, we launched Youth Month in Soweto, the birthplace of the 1976 uprising. There, Sepolitia, a young engineer, moderated a panel with precision and clarity. His message was direct. He said, I quote him, "We must build real bridges between the people and state. Opportunity must not be a distant promise. It must be a visible and walkable path." On the 10th of June, we gathered over 130 young people for a youth debate watch party in Parliament, where young people from in and around Cape Town gathered to watch members of Parliament debate the state of the youth in South Africa. They didn't just observe Parliament, they interrogated it. One young member of Parliament reminded young people in the room that you may not be into politics, but politics is into you. On the 12th of June, in partnership with University of Cape Town, we convened a Cape Town think tank constituted by a variety of young people, employed, unemployed, entrepreneurs, as well as students. It was energized, it was sharp, and deeply honest. Ms. Ntswaki Mapela, a recent master's graduate, proposed a disability inclusion scorecard, a digital tool to hold departments and institutions accountable in staffing, infrastructure, and budgets. Her idea was echoed 2 days later at Youth Parliament by Ms. Thembelihle Nxayi, who challenged us to become, I quote, the moral champions of disability inclusion in Southern Africa. We also heard from Lisa Adams, a technology director and co-founder of Citizen Code, Dimpho Mueti, an international awarded gamer, and Kagisho Masaye, CEO and founder of Metric Alive, who collectively made a powerful case for a decolonized, community-centered innovation ecosystem. Their message was clear. They said, in the era of artificial intelligence, robotics and gaming, our technologies must be designed by the people, for the people, and rooted in African values and social justice. On the 13th of June, we also witnessed the power of young democracy at the Youth Parliament. There was no hesitation, no fear, only fierce clarity as they demanded that Youth Parliament becomes more than just an event, but a respected site of accountability. And I agree with them. They are scaling gender justice and survivor-led policy reform, like Abigail Smith, a human trafficking survivor, now leading advocacy and embrace dignity, and not I, but we, championing abolitionist laws and second stage shelter for survivors. Young people are designing platforms that convert skills into livelihoods, like Wandile Mtoba, an aerospace engineer turned tech entrepreneur who co-founded Kandua to connect artisans to opportunities and now helps young innovators grow ideas into real businesses through a company called Coral Tree. They are unlocking investment for national development, like Tusani Fakute, a young mergers and acquisitions lawyer, helping businesses and government work together to fund infrastructure, grow local industries, and ensure that economic growth benefits more people, not just a few. In our capacity as chair of the G20 Working Group on the Empowerment of Women, we will be inviting these young people to shape legacy projects that will emerge out of the 3 key priority areas. These are the K economy, financial inclusion, and combating gender violence and femicide. To our young people, and those that are listening at home, let us live here not only inspired but mobilized. Let today remind every young person in South Africa that you are seen, you are needed, you are believed in, and you are backed. Your ideas and contributions are supported and appreciated. South Africa is safe in your hands. At this moment that I have the honor of introducing someone who needs no introduction. The former MEC of Safety and Security, Housing, Finance and Economic Affairs in Gauteng, the former Premier of Gauteng Province, the former Minister of Arts and Culture, the current Deputy President of the African National Congress, and the Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa, His Excellency, Honorable Deputy President Paul Mashatile, to deliver the official 2025 Youth Day Commemoration keynote address. May we all rise. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Minister, come help me. We must put the Deputy President in with a song. He's got a song he loves.
Okay, this one. Hayo matata, hayo matata, hayo matata, hayo mojimo, hayo matata, hayo matata, hayo matata, hayo mojimo, mojimo halite, hayo matata, hayo matata, hayo mojimo halite.
Hey, boss. Thank you. Hey, you can see.
Thank you very much, Program Directors, Minister Mackenzie, and MEC Khan. Minister in the Presidency responsible for women, youth, and persons with disabilities, Mayor Sindisiwe Chikunga, Premier of the Northwest, Mr. Lazarus Mukhosi, ministers and deputy ministers here present, they all have been introduced. Director General, you were all also introduced. Ms. Pindile Baleni, members of the Executive Council of the province of the Northwest, all of you also introduced. Mayor of JB Marks Municipality, Councillor Gaba Titiba Gatele, mayors, councillors, Mahoshia Rona Linteng, Mona Kajenu, Acting Chief Executive Officer of NYDA, also introduced, Mr. Mafika Duma, and then management team of NYDA. Heads of the private sector entities and civil society organizations, ambassadors, and all members of the diplomatic corps, the youth of South Africa, government officials here present, members of the media, all exhibitors who are with us today, esteemed guests, good afternoon. I thought I was going to address you in the morning, so I want to say good morning, but I can see, I think it's already afternoon. Good afternoon, Inhlikani, Ndimasiari, Dumelang kaofela. Ne ke ratile hore ke bue le lona ka Setswana gompieno. Fela Setswana sa ka ga sa tlhapa sentle. Re santse re se tlhapisa ko lapeng re ntse re se tlhapisa. Fela ke tla bua ka Seesemane go eletsa hore molaetsa ona o fitlhelle batho kaofela naga kaofela ke re ke a thaba ha le utlwe se sa taba eo. Program directors, today we honor and pay tribute to the valiant and fearless young people who stood at the forefront of the liberation struggle on June 16, 1976. Regardless of their youthful stature, the youth of 1976 stood strong in the face of the oppressive system of the apartheid regime. They faced death with unwavering determination, fueled by a vision of equal rights and a more just society. As President Nelson Mandela recounted in his address on June 16, 1996, he said the following: "When freedom beckoned, you faced death and bullets and did not flinch. You responded to the call to build the underground and the mass democratic movement. You swelled the ranks of the People's Army and acquitted yourselves with distinctions on the battlefield." Close quote. It has been 49 years since that significant day, yet we will always remember the student leaders like Tsietsi Mashinini and Hastings Ndlovu who orchestrated the mass demonstration that transformed our nation. We must never forget those who joined the long list of martyrs and paid the ultimate price for our freedom. These are the young, brave souls who fought for a dream that they never saw come to life, a dream that continues to inspire us and guide us today. By taking action in 1976 against an enforced Afrikaans language as the exclusive medium of instruction in African schools, those young learners were carrying out the path of struggle defined by their forefathers through the Freedom Charter. 10 days from now, we will commemorate the 70th anniversary of the Freedom Charter. The adoption of the Freedom Charter on June 26, 1955, and the Soweto Uprising on June 16, 1976, are significant milestones in South Africa's journey towards our freedom. Both occurring under unique circumstances, but inspired by the shared vision of a free and equal South Africa for all. The Freedom Charter continues to be a pillar of South Africa's constitution, influencing political and social climate of the country. It demands that the doors of learning and culture shall be open to all. This clause signified the Charter's commitment to equality and access to education for all South Africans. In this regard, this year's theme, Skills for a Changing World, Embracing Youth for Meaningful Economic Participation, is more relevant to the noble cause for which the generation of 1976 and those who came before them were prepared to lay down their lives. It embodies the essence of what we aim to achieve together, a future where our youth are not just empowered, but actively engaged in shaping a better tomorrow. Program directors, the reality is that many young people in South Africa are not living the future they hoped for. They are confronted by high levels of unemployment, inequality, and the lack of access to opportunities, especially in the digital world. As government, we acknowledge that for these young people, their reality remains unstable, undesirable, and unsustainable. According to Stats SA, young people between the ages of 15 and 34 make up just half of South Africa's working age population, about 20.9 million people in number. However, far too many of them can't find work, especially those between the ages of 15 and 24. Currently, South Africa's unemployment rate has gone up to 32.9%, and if we include people who gave up looking for work, the rate jumps up to 43.1%. The latest data from the quarterly labor force survey shows that more than half of young people aged between 18 and 34 are unemployed. This is one of the highest levels we have ever seen, and it is of great concern to all of us. What is also deeply worrying is the growing number of young people who are not in education, not in employment, and not in training. The current figure stands at about 3.8 million people. Among the 15 to 24 years old, which is about 37.1%, fall into this category, with young women being slightly more affected than young men. If we look at the wider age group of 15 to 34 years, the rate is even higher at 45.1%. Even our graduates are struggling, with nearly 1 in 4 graduates struggling to gain employment. This is more than just an economic issue. It is a moral emergency. It affects our whole society and demands urgent action from all sectors, government, business, and the community at large. We must fix the structural challenges in our economy to address inequality and skills mismatch between education and what the job market needs. In this regard, the government is collaborating with stakeholders like the Harambee Youth Employment Accelerator to combat youth economic exclusion by addressing the demand-supply mismatch in the South African labor market. Moreover, we need to encourage young people to look into starting their own businesses instead of waiting to be employed. In this day and age, entrepreneurship is one of the keys to building a better future. We've just, through creating platforms for social partners to deliberate on the country's skills and human capital development. The Council is also working on strengthening partnerships